performing an elementary row operation on a given matrix A. Okay, performing an elementary row operation on a given matrix A is same as multiplying on the left of A by the corresponding elementary matrix. This is nothing to do with the lemma, but just keep this point in mind. Uh, just before the lemma, we have verified this concept, that is connecting the concept of elementary row operations with that of elementary matrices. We have noted that performing elementary row operation of type 1, that is multiplying one row with the scalar and adding it to the other, that is equivalent to multiplying on the left of the given matrix by elementary matrix of type 2, type 1, sorry, type 1. And the next case is if I have to interchange any two rows, that is same as multiplying on the left of the given matrix by elementary matrix of type 2. And if at all I want to multiply one particular row of a matrix by a scalar, that is equivalent to multiplying on the left of the given matrix by elementary matrix of type 3. So combining all those three cases, this is what we can conclude. Okay, this is not from the lemma, the previous explanation that I gave just before the lemma. Performing an elementary row operation on a given matrix A can be of any order, and if A is of order m by n, I have to take elementary matrix because it is getting multiplied on the left. It should be of order m by m. That is, it's a square matrix of order m. That is same as multiplying on the left of the given matrix by the corresponding elementary matrix. Okay, keep this in mind. Next, we'll be discussing about solving system of equations. Solving system of equations. Here I've taken a system of m linear equations in n unknowns. Okay, m linear equations in n unknowns are denoted by ax equal to b. Ax equal to b. The first equation is a11 x1 plus a12 x2 plus etc. plus a1n xn is equal to b1. Second one is a21 x1 plus a22 x2 etc. plus a2n xn is equal to b2. And the last equation is am1 x1 plus am2 x2 plus etc. plus amn xn is equal to bm. So you see here it's a set of m equations, right? Number of equations is m. And how many unknowns? These xi's are unknowns. x1, x2, etc. xn, there are exactly n unknowns. We have to solve this system. And these system of equations can be represented in the matrix form also. When you write in the matrix form, this is how it looks like. Okay, ax equal to b. I've already written it. Ax equal to b. Ax equal to b, where A stands for the matrix. A stands for the matrix whose entries are these. The coefficients from those equations give you the rows, okay, individual rows. Coefficients from the first equation give you the first row. Coefficients from the second equation give you the second row, etc. So a11, a12, etc. a1n, and the last row is am1, am2, etc. amn. Okay, and then x is the column of unknowns, x1, x2, etc. xn, n unknowns are there, and b is the column which is on the right hand side. In ax equal to b, the column that is present, the numbers b1, b2, etc. bm together, they give you the column b, that is b1, b2, etc. bm. If you multiply a with that column x, and what you get is the LHS of these equations, and b gives you the RHS. So these are a, x, and b respectively. You can call a as the coefficient matrix of the above system. I've denoted that system of equations by star here. So in that equation, system of equation star, the matrix A that you get after writing it in the matrix notation, A is called as the coefficient matrix, X is called as the unknown column vector, or you can also say it's a column of unknowns. It's a column of unknowns or unknown column vector, because xi values are the ones which we need to find out. Okay, and B is the given column vector. So the entries in A will be given to us. Vector B will also be given to us. Our aim is to find a suitable x which satisfies Ax equal to B. And we say that we are solving Ax equal to B. So when you say we are trying to solve Ax equal to B, we are finding out values of x1, x2, etc. xn, that is entries in x which satisfy Ax equal to B. So A and B will be given to us. Aij's and Bj's will be given to us. Aij's and Bi's will be given to us. We need to find out all the xj's. Now, how to solve the system? Now we will be finding out some simple method to solve the system of equations. So first, what we'll do is we'll define something called as an augmented matrix here. If a system Ax equal to B is given, you consider the matrix A, which has m rows and n columns. Then you consider along with these n columns one more column, that is the column B. That is, you're constructing a block matrix here. Okay, block matrix with the two blocks, where the first block is the matrix A itself. First block is A, and the second block is this column. Okay, what is that column? The column consisting of B1, B2, etc., Bm, the RHS of the M equations, these numbers B1, B2, Bm. So include that one extra column. So you formed a block matrix here. It's a one single matrix. This M is one single matrix where you have two blocks. Okay? Two blocks. First block is A, second block is that one single column. So totally now we have n plus 1 columns. Earlier in A we had n columns, and now one more. That is, you get n plus 1 columns. Number of rows remains the same because in A as well as in B we had exactly m rows. So we formed a block matrix which is of order m by n plus 1. You call it as an augmented matrix. Okay, by combining the coefficient matrix A with the given column vector B, you get this matrix, which is a block matrix, usually called as augmented matrix. Now, so M is considered as one single matrix, which is of order m by n plus 1. M by n plus 1. Now, what we'll do is, before going to the next slide, we'll consider this M. Okay, we'll consider this M, and we'll try to simplify this matrix M. Simplify in the sense, you're trying to make most of the entries zeros, as many as possible. Okay, so that the system of equations which you get later is going to be a simple one, which could be easily solved. So what we'll do is M, which is the block matrix AB, we will try applying row operations on M. What are three row operations? I can multiply any row with the scalar and add it to another row, or I'm free to interchange two rows, or I can multiply any row with the non-zero scalar also if required. But I have to use these three operations suitably in order to reduce the given matrix M to a simple form. So first, let us assume that I have interchanged two rows of the matrix M. If I interchange two rows of the matrix M, that is equivalent to saying I have multiplied M on the left side by elementary matrix of type 2. Okay, of type 2. So after doing that, two of the rows will get interchanged. So I'll get another matrix. Then I see that it's possible to make some entry 0. It's possible to make some entry 0 by multiplying one row with some number and adding it to another row. If that is possible, I'll perform that operation next. First, I have interchanged two rows. Okay, and then now I am multiplying some row with the scalar and adding it to another row. First operation was equivalent to multiplying on the left of M by elementary matrix of type 1, right? And on that matrix, after multiplying by that matrix, the resulting matrix which I got, on that I am performing elementary row operation of type 1. And that is equivalent to multiplying on the left by elementary matrix of type 1. So what I've done, I've started with M. First I have multiplied with, say, E1, where E1 is of type 2. And then on that matrix, which is the matrix, the product matrix E1 into M, we have E1 into M. And to that matrix on the left again, I am multiplying by another elementary matrix, which is of type 1, that is E2. So M is first getting multiplied with E1 and then E2 and then E3 or E4, etc., where all these EJs represent elementary matrices of suitable types, either type 1, type 2, or type 3. Because performing each row operation is equivalent to multiplying the left by elementary matrix of respective type. Keep this in mind. Okay, so after applying a finite number of, you cannot go on doing this. After finite number of steps, somewhere you'll stop. Okay, you apply finite number of elementary row operations. So I have applied 10 row operations but each of them is equivalent to multiplying on the left by elementary matrix of the respective type. So I would have multiplied M, this matrix M, on the left by 10 elementary matrices, E1 and then E2, E3, etc. So first E1 I have to multiply on the left, and then to the left of that I have to multiply E2 and so on. So here comes to the left of M, you'll get E1 and then E2 and then E3, E4, etc. So first I'll have E10 and then E9, E8, etc., E2, E1 into M. But how is M? M is a block matrix. Okay, so multiplying by E1 to M is same as multiplying A by E1 and also multiplying the column B by E1. Is the presentation not visible? Just a second. I guess I'm out. Was the slide visible earlier?
Yes, ma'am. Now it's not visible.
I have joined back because I'm presenting using my laptop. That's so.
It's visible now, ma'am.
Yes, yes, yeah. So as I said, we will be multiplying by, if required, say 10 elementary matrices on the left side. If at all we have performed 10 elementary row operations, then multiplying by E1 into E2, etc., E10 on the left side is equivalent to multiplying separately A and B on the left by elementary matrices. Okay, and then after multiplying A with that E1, E2, E10, and also B by E1, E2, etc., E10, you'll get two new blocks. I'll call them as A dash and B dash. What we'll prove in the next proposition is that solving the system Ax equal to B and solving that new system. What is a new system? After applying on M, see here M is a combination of A and B. So applying row operations on A is, since you are applying row wise, it's same as applying row operations on A, on the rows of A, and also you are applying the same operations on the rows of B. And after applying row operations, the two blocks will remain as they are, but entries will change. So the first block would have changed to some new matrix A dash, and the second block would have been changed to some B dash. Next, we will be trying to solve A dash x equal to B dash. Since we have applied row operations, A dash and B dash will be in the simpler form. Okay? A dash and B dash, after applying row operations, A will reduce to some A dash, B will reduce to B dash. We will be trying to solve A dash x equal to B dash. Solving that will be easier compared to solving Ax equal to B if at all the matrix A was complicated. Or we can directly try solving Ax equal to B itself. This procedure is not required. Okay. If at all A has a complicated structure, then you reduce it to a simpler form, solve A dash x equal to B dash. But the question is, the solution that you get for A dash x equal to B dash, is that also a solution of Ax equal to B? And that's what we are going to justify in the next result. We'll prove in this proposition, take M equal to the block matrix, augmented matrix as described above. So what is M? We are asked to solve Ax equal to B. From there, I'll find out what is the coefficient matrix A and the given column vector B. I'll combine them to form a matrix of order M by N plus 1, which is a augmented matrix denoted by M. So let M be equal to the block matrix AB as described above. Now let M dash be the matrix obtained by applying a sequence of row operations, okay, obtained by applying a sequence of row operations, say E1 into E2 into etc. Ek in this order on M. What do you mean by in this order? First E1 is applied. Here in the proposition they have mentioned applying a sequence of row operations, right? It's written applying a sequence of row operations, but it is given that the matrices here, what is given? Matrices, because each row operation, as I've written the first slide, the first statement, performing elementary row operation is equivalent to multiplying on the left by corresponding elementary matrix. So this is very important, keep that in mind. But of course, when it comes to problems, we are not going to make use of elementary, we will directly apply row reduction. But in justifying that Ax equal to B and A dash x equal to B dash have the same solution, the idea of elementary matrices is required. So row operations in this order, that is E1 is first multiplied on the left of M, E1. And after that, you will multiply by E2 on the left. Okay, and finally by Ek. So on the left of M, you will have Ek into Ek minus 1, etc. into E2 into E1, and then comes M, okay, in the reverse order. Because first multiplying by E1, then by E2, then by E3, then by E4, etc. by Ek. So you go in the reverse order from right to left. So they have given that these are the row operations. Then we have to prove that the systems Ax equal to B and A dash x equal to B dash have the same solutions. I've briefly written here in the bracket what is the given situation. M is there. That is this block matrix M. To the left, first we multiplied by E1, then by E2, etc. Ek. But that is same as multiplying the first block, that is A, by each of these, multiplying A by E1, E2, etc. Ek. Similarly, B is also multiplied by E1, E2, etc. Ek. So the new blocks, I have named them as A dash, B dash, and this new matrix, block matrix, is called as M dash. So M dash is what? M dash is the matrix which you obtain after performing row operations on M, or equivalently, after multiplying M on the left by this product. What is the product? Ek into Ek minus 1, etc. E2 into E1 into M is nothing but M dash. First, I have written what is given in the proposition. Consider the system of equations Ax equal to B, where A is a M by N coefficient matrix, B is the given M by 1 column vector, and X is an N by 1 column of unknowns. M is the augmented matrix AB. On this, we are applying row operations, that is written here. Okay, M on the left, first row operation, and then second row operation, third operation, etc. But each row operation is same as multiplying by respective elementary matrices. So K number of operations are applied here. So this is the matrix Ek into Ek minus 1, etc. E2 into E1 into M. That is called as M dash. A new name we are giving it. So this entire matrix which you get after multiplying these K plus 1 number of matrices, that is denoted by M dash now. And M dash is also a block matrix. M dash is also a block matrix. What is that block matrix? M dash is a block matrix. I have missed one bracket here. M dash is a block matrix having the blocks A dash and B dash. So I need one bracket here. Okay, it's a matrix. M dash is, this M dash is A dash, B dash. It's a block matrix with the two blocks A dash, B dash. Order of A dash is same as that of A, M by N. B dash is N by 1, just one column. Okay, and what is A dash? A dash will be same as A multiplied on the left by this product Ek into Ek minus 1, it is into etc. E to E1, and B dash is Ek into Ek minus 1, etc. E2 into B. That is B dash. Keep that in mind. And now, since there are K number of elementary matrices, multiplied in the reverse order, ek and then ek minus 1, etc., e to e1, that entire product of those k elementary matrices will denote by p. Otherwise, every time in the next step, I will have to write all the k matrices. To simplify the steps, this entire product we will denote by p. Can someone tell me what will be the order of each of these elementary matrices? It is getting multiplied on the left of M. And you know what is the order of M? What is the order of M? It is here. So how many rows M has? M rows. It has M rows. Elementary matrices, remember, they are always square matrices. It is left multiplied on the left of M. So what is the order of E1, E2, E3, etc., EK minus 1, EK? All of them are of same order. Which is that order?
M.
What is the order? M, yeah. M in the sense M rows and M columns. All of them are square, and since they are getting multiplied on the left of M, M has M rows, so number of columns in E1 is M. And since it is square, if M is the number of columns, it has same number of rows also. So all of these have M rows and columns, remember M. If we had the matrix M, capital M with 4 rows, then all these E1, E2, etc., EK are of order 4 by 4. Okay, 4 by 4. So this matrix product is defined because all of them are of the same order. So this matrix P is also of order M. M rows, M columns, M. Okay, M rows, M columns. The last lemma says that each elementary matrix is invertible. Whether it is of type 1, type 2, or type 3, all the 3 types are invertible. Elementary matrices are all invertible. Therefore, E1, E2, etc., EK minus 1, EK, all these are invertible. And we have proved one proposition using induction earlier, that product of invertible matrices is always invertible. Hope you're getting the point. I'm combining the previous lemma with one earlier proposition. What was the previous lemma? Elementary matrices are invertible. Okay, that says all these EJs, EK, EK minus 1, etc., E2, E1, all these are invertible. And P denotes the product of these matrices. Each of them is already invertible. Now I'm considering a product of k number of invertible matrices, and recall the proposition which we proved by induction, that says product of invertible matrices is invertible. Therefore, we can conclude this matrix P is invertible. Okay, I've just mentioned here, then P being the product of invertible matrices, P being the product of invertible matrices is invertible. The here, I'm not able to write. It should be being the product of. I will not write the, because it may not be unique. Being a, maybe being a product of, because uh, I need not apply row operations in the same order, right? See, I might have interchanged 2 rows first, and you might have performed some other operation, multiplying the row operation. So E1 is not unique. E1 depends on which operation you have applied first. So being a product of invertible matrices is invertible. How do we know each one is invertible? Because each one is elementary. Elementary matrices are always invertible. So keep this in mind. P is invertible. What is that we have to justify? Ax equal to b and a dash x equal to b dash have the same solutions. Have the same solutions if they have a solution. Existence of solution, all that we will discuss about that later. What we want to know is if a dash x equal to b dash has a solution, it should be a solution of ax equal to b. Similarly, if ax equal to b has some solution, it should be a solution of a dash x equal to b dash. Means to say that both have exactly the same set of solutions. So first we'll suppose this column, which I've taken as the column consisting of alpha 1, alpha 2, etc., alpha n. Let this be a solution of the first system, that is ax equal to b. Audio is not clear. Suresh is saying that, is that the same for everybody, or Is it my network issue or his network issue? I don't know.
It's clear for me, ma'am.
Reshma, we'll ask somebody from Kerala. Is it
Clear, ma'am.
clear? Okay. So to the next state it is clear, then it should be. It should not be my problem. Suresh, I think your network has some issue. Is it fine now? If at all not very clear, you refer to the audio, this one video, okay, once it is uploaded. Because if at all it is my network issue, then in the recorded video also it doesn't come clear. If it is not from my side, then it should be clear in the video record. So please refer to that later. If there is an issue, don't worry. So first I'm assuming the given system Ax equal to B has a solution. Okay, I've taken it as a column alpha 1, alpha 2, etc. alpha n. What do you mean by this is a solution? In the place of x, if I substitute that column should satisfy the system. So we get A into the column alpha 1, alpha 2, etc. alpha n is equal to B. So I've called it as equation 1. Okay, you'll get two columns here after multiplying A with this column of numbers alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha n. You'll get a column that is same as B. That should be same as B. Now what we'll do is on the left of the LHS as well as RHS, on the left side we'll multiply by the matrix P. Okay, I'll be multiplying here on the left of A by P and also on the left of B by P. Okay, multiplying on both the sides of equation 1 by P from the left side. Don't change the order because matrix multiplication is not commutative in general. So if you are multiplying here on the left, here also it is on the left because we know A into this column is same as B. Okay, multiply. Now associative law you can use, combine P and A together. Okay, earlier it is A into this column, now combine P and A. What is P into A? What is P into A? We'll refer that. P is nothing but the product ek minus 1, etc. e2 into e1. And that when it is multiplied on the left of A, when A is multiplied on the left by e1, e2, etc. ek in this order, what you get is the new block A dash. When B is multiplied on the left by e1, e2, etc. ek, means to say that you have applied those row operations. What you get after applying that on the column B is the new column B dash, right? So I'll replace, and this product is nothing but P. And now we have multiplied on the left of A by P and the left of B by P. So this product P into B is nothing but ek into ek minus 1, etc. e2, e1 into B. And here it is ek minus 1, etc. e2, e1 into A. And that product is A dash, and this product RHS is B dash. What does that tell us? That says the column which has alpha 1, alpha 2, etc. alpha n, that is also acting as the solution of A dash x equal to B dash. Correct? A dash x equal to B dash. In the place of x, here we have the column alpha 1, alpha 2, etc. alpha n. So we have justified that if there is a column consisting of numbers alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha n, which is a solution of Ax equal to B, then it is also a solution of A dash x equal to B dash. Now we'll go in the reverse direction. That is, suppose you take a solution of A dash x equal to B dash, we'll justify it is also a solution of Ax equal to B. Okay, so let this column, I've simply called the entries as beta 1, beta 2, beta n. Let this column be a solution of A dash x equal to B dash. As usual. So what do you mean by this is a solution? In the place of x, if I take this column A dash into beta 1, beta 2, etc. beta n, that satisfies the system. So A dash into this column should give us B dash. Only in the place of x, I have substituted this vector just because it is a solution. Now, remember we are going backwards. So I should replace A dash with what A dash is. What is A dash? See here. A dash is the block. A dash is the block which you get after multiplying A on the left by these matrices in this order. And B dash is the column which you get after multiplying B by these EJs in this order. So we will replace A dash and B dash by and this product is called as what? It is P, right? So A dash is nothing but P into A, B dash is P into B. Keep that in mind. So I'm replacing A dash with P into A here and replacing B dash with P into B. I'd called it as equation 2. I think it has not come here. So I'm replacing A dash with P into A and I'm replacing B dash with P into B. And what we know about the matrix P? And we know that the matrix P is invertible. Being the product of invertible matrices, it is invertible. We'll use the fact P is invertible now. So we have an equation here, PA into beta 1, beta 2, etc. beta n is equal to P into B. Now on both the sides, we'll multiply by the inverse of P. Because it is invertible, its inverse exists. So we'll multiply next. I had called it as equation 2. So multiply equation 2 on either side, on the left side again, by inverse of P. Because P is invertible, its inverse exists. So here on the left, I'm multiplying by P inverse. This looks like beta. That's a mistake. Okay. I was about to draw a column there. It should be B. I don't think the eraser works. Let me try something. Hmm. I don't think anything is going to work. So it is not, there is no that beta, it is a line, okay? It's just a line which I draw by mistake. This is B here. So we had this equation. We had this equation. Here I am multiplying by P inverse, and here also I am multiplying by P inverse. So it is B, not beta. This is B. This is B. Now use matrix multiplication as associative, so I can combine P and P inverse together. Here also P and P inverse together. And what is the product? Inverse into the given matrix. A matrix into its inverse is always identity. So this product is identity. That's why I have not written here, because identity multiplied with any matrix is also identity. Here also you get identity. So what you get is A into the column consisting of beta 1, beta 2, etc. beta n is equal to B. What does that tell us? The column consisting of beta i's, which was taken to be a solution of A dash x equal to B dash, which was taken to be a solution of A dash x equal to B dash, now is acting as the solution of Ax equal to B, right? If I take here in the place of this column X, that says this column of beta i's is satisfying the system Ax equal to B. Ax equal to B. So we have justified if the system A dash x equal to B dash has a solution, the same will be the solution of Ax equal to B. And the other way is also true. If Ax equal to B has a solution, the same will be the solution of A dash x equal to B dash. So if one system has no solution, other one cannot have a solution. Why? Suppose I know that Ax equal to B has no solution. Then can A dash x equal to B dash have a solution? If at all it has, say, one solution, A dash x equal to B dash has a solution, according to what we have justified just now, the same should be a solution of Ax equal to B also, right? It should also be a solution of Ax equal to B. But you are saying that it has no solution. Therefore, if one system has no solution, other one also cannot have a solution. And if one has infinitely many solutions, say, the other one will also get infinitely many solutions. Not that only the number of solutions is same, they will have exactly the same set of solutions. If I know one column is a solution of Ax equal to B, exactly the same column is going to be the solution of A dash x equal to B dash also. That's why even if you reduce the matrices involved in the system into a simpler form and then solve that matrix system, the solution that you get will be the solution of the given system itself. So this idea will be used later in solving system of equations, that is row reduction, reducing a given matrix into a simpler form. If you are asked to solve the system Ax equal to B, first you have to form this matrix M. Remember, you look at what is the coefficient matrix A, what is the column given B, combine A and B to form this matrix, which has one extra column. And this matrix you will use for row reduction. That is, you are going to simplify this matrix, not A and B separately. this single matrix will be simplified. Now this is about row reduction. Is row reduction. Given an m by n matrix A, we perform a sequence of elementary row operations on A in order to obtain a simpler matrix by clearing out as many entries as possible. We will be performing elementary row operations, any number, till you can bring the matrix to a simplest possible form. So don't multiply any row with the 0. That's why in third type of elementary row operation, we have taken the scalar c to be non-zero. Because if you are allowed to multiply by 0, you can simply multiply all the rows by 0 and try getting a 0 matrix, which is not at all useful because you're trying to solve a system x equal to b. So you always take a non-zero scalar in elementary row operation of type 1 and type 3. And second type is just interchanging rows. So you can apply any number of elementary row operations, any of the three types, just to come to a simpler matrix. So this is the procedure. You start with A and apply sequence of row operations in order to reduce it to A dash. And it is not A, as I said. If you are asked to solve Ax equal to B, you have to form a new matrix AB, where A is one block, B is one block. That matrix will undergo row reduction to get a simpler matrix. But if you are not asked to solve a system, instead they give you one single matrix and they ask you simplify this matrix or get the row reduced form, then you take the same matrix and simplify it in order to get a simpler matrix. And since we already noted in the first slide, the first point, every elementary row operation is obtained by multiplying by an elementary matrix, we can express the result of a sequence of row operations. So applying sequence of row operations is equivalent to multiplying the given matrix on the left by a sequence of elementary matrices. That is what is expressed here. Okay.